वंचित परिवार की बहनें, उनका चूल्हा जलता रहे, कोई गरीब बच्चा भूखा सो न जाए, इसलिए मैंने मुफ्त चावल की योजना शुरू की। लेकिन बहनें बताती हैं कि इन्होंने चावल वाली योजना भी नहीं छोड़ी, आपकी थाली में भी वो चोरी करना छोड़ते नहीं है जी। और ये लूट का पैसा कहां जा रहा है? ये वही पैसा है जो नोटों के पहाड़ के रूप में हमने टीवी पर देखा है। आप मुझे बताइए, जेएमएम कांग्रेस को रत्ती भर भी पछतावा होता है क्या? इतने सारे रुपए पकड़े जा रहे, और जो नहीं पकड़े गए वो तो कहीं बहुत बहुत दबे हुए पड़े होंगे। वो मैं बाद में हिसाब करने वाला हूं जरा उनका। लेकिन अगर थोड़ा सा भी पछतावा होता कि इतनी चोरी पकड़ी गई, जरा मुंडी नीची करके जरा अच्छी बात बोलते। ये माफी तो नहीं मांगेंगे, मुझे मालूम है। वो आपके सामने अपने इस पाप के लिए शर्मिंदगी भी महसूस नहीं करेंगे। नोटों के पहाड़ और वो वाला नेता जो जेल गया, देखिए, नोटों के पहाड़ वाला नेता जो जेल गया, उसके परिवार के सदस्य को ही इन्होंने टिकट दे दिया।
An unsparing attack continues from Prime Minister Narendra Modi against the JMM and Congress alliance in Jharkhand amid polls. The first phase of voting is underway, while the next phase is what BJP is eyeing, that it should make a dent in the vote bank of JMM and Congress. With that, we're slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. More news and updates on the other side.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India Century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं, बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने।
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
NDTV World Summit was more than just a conversation. It was a confluence of ideas poised to shape our global future. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust.
Saudi Arabia's foreign minister is on a two-day visit to New Delhi. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met with the Saudi foreign minister and chaired a second meeting of the India-Saudi Strategic Partnership Council, discussing key areas like defense, trade, security and cultural ties. They emphasized the historic ties and mutual respect between their countries, pledging coordinated efforts to enhance regional stability and economic growth. The discussions also touched upon the ongoing conflict in West Asia, reflecting on a shared commitment to peace and economic development in the region. And with that, it's a wrap from my side on this news edition, but more news and updates continue on the other side.
Dynastic politics, we are seeing a lot of it at play in these elections.
So there might be this kind of instances happen in other constituencies also, but here I have come specifically because of public demand.
This region of North Maharashtra is known for its grapes, and now it is known for its wineries.
We are a farmer. We are thinking how we can go for the value addition of our agriculture produce. That is very vital.
We are in Ramkund, which is in the heart of Nashik.
महंगाई बहुत बढ़ रही है. किचन की जो चीजें हैं उनमें उन्होंने बहुत बढ़ोतरी कर दी है.
हमें एक स्ट्रॉन्ग लीडर चाहिए जो अपने देश को बचा सके.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Elon Musk is now part of Trump's administration to head the Department of Efficiency, which will guide and advise the Trump government.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Our $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का.
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की.
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही. त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त आहेत. पण का भरत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे.
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले. शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं.
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con. Only on NDTV 24.
Hello and welcome to News at 3. I'm your host Rika Roy. Over the next hour, I'll take you through all the news that have been happening in India and across the globe. The politics and the elections taking place in 2 states. Today, of course, in Jharkhand. First up, the headlines at this hour. There's a slugfest over Maharashtra bag check. In the Maharashtra CM Eknath Shinde speaks to NDTV exclusively. He says, "What's Uddhav Thackeray afraid of?" CM Shinde's bag has been also checked by poll officials. Top court comes down heavily on Ajit Pawar over Sharad Pawar's plea on party symbol. Supreme Court asks Ajit Pawar to stop using Sharad Pawar's name and learn to stand on his feet. Prime Minister Narendra Modi campaigns in Jharkhand's Deoghar. He reiterates infiltrations and infiltrators' attack on JMM Congress alliance. Says they are trying to snatch rights of tribals and others. Government doctor stabbed multiple times inside a hospital in Chennai. Cops arrest one suspect. Say the youth was an attendant who suspected the doctor gave wrong treatment. Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister orders inquiry. The Supreme Court lays down strict guidelines for demolitions. Top court says no demolition can be carried out without a prior 15-day notice to the owner of the property, violation of which means officials will have to pay from their salary. An NDTV exclusive with the Telecom regulatory chairman, from do not dial registry to tracing commercial calls to whitelisting. TRAI chief lists the exhaustive regulatory overhaul done by the government to fight spam scourge. Delhi's dense fog hits flight operations. At least 10 flights have been diverted. Multiple flights delayed as fog envelops capital early in the morning. We start with the big controversy from Maharashtra over checking of bags. Today, in fact, as you can see in those visuals, Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's bag was also checked by the Election Commission officials. Shinde's bag was checked in Palghar. Opposition leaders have protested over the last few days over bags being checked. In fact, Eknath Shinde has spoken exclusively NDTV and said, what are the opposition leaders afraid of? Because bags of everyone, every official are being checked. Right now, I am joined by my colleague Radhika Ramaswamy for more on this. Radhika, this seems to be a new twist in the tale of Maharashtra elections. Bags are being checked of several politicians. Tell us what really is beneath this story. What are the election officials checking for?
That's right. Video wars over bag checking. That's what we've been witnessing over the last 2 days after Uddhav Thackeray put out videos of his bags and belongings being checked by EC officials. He claims that only opposition leaders' bags are being checked and that ruling party leaders' bags are not getting checked. In fact, in those videos, we did see Uddhav Thackeray there really clashing with EC officials, asking them if they dare check bags of Prime Minister Modi, Amit Shah, or for that matter, any of the state ministers. A post which, of course, there had been responses in the form of videos from both BJP as well as Eknath Shinde's side. This morning, BJP put out a video in which Devendra Fadnavis's bags was being checked, and they say that these checking happened on November 5 in Kolhapur at the airport where Fadnavis's bags were being checked. And just about 30 minutes back, Eknath Shinde's team also put out a video saying that His bags and belongings were also checked. His chopper was also checked when he was in Palghar for campaigning for another candidate. So therefore, in a way indicating, the Mahayuti leaders indicating that there is no bias, it is a fair game as far as election officials are concerned, and that all the parties, especially within Mahayuti, have been cooperating with the EC officials. So yes, Uddhav Thackeray, they're pointing at how EC officials are being unfair, they are being biased, in a way indicating that Election Commission works under the behest of the BJP, or rather the Mahayuti, which is something that is being rubbished by Mahayuti by putting out all those videos to sort of establish that it's not just the leaders of the opposition but leaders within the ruling party whose bags and belongings get checked, especially during election time. So we'll have to see how this pans out. As a response to these videos that have been put out by Mahayuti, there are responses from within MVA where leaders are saying that this is just something, a reaction that is coming out of these leaders post Uddhav Thackeray's charges and allegations, in which these are videos that are being put post the allegations and not before that. And now, of course, election officials are waking up is the charge that has been levelled by the opposition. But certainly politics heating up, and now, of course, controversy over checking of belongings of leaders by election commission officials.
Right, thank you very much, Radhika, for getting us that story. Well, Maharashtra goes to poll on the 20th of the month. Ahead of that, my colleague Anuj caught up with the Chief Minister of Maharashtra on the current political climate, and he also spoke to Anuj exclusively on this bag checking row. Let's listen in.
हमारे साथ मौजूद है महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ शिंदे। ये बेहद खास मुलाकात है। चुनाव के वक्त सीएम साहब आपने समय निकाला, धन्यवाद। किस तरह का माहौल दिख रहा है? आप जगह जगह घूम रहे हैं और कल तो आपने लगातार 7 रैलियां कर डाली।
पूरा माहौल महायुति का है। सब लोग इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं कब चुनाव है, कब वोटिंग है, कब मतदान है, कब महायुति को वोट करते हैं। ऐसा सब लोग में वो जोश है, उत्साह है। सभी लोगों में एक इस बार के चुनाव में अलग भावना है, क्योंकि ये सरकार फिर से जनता चाहती है, क्योंकि 2-2.5 साल में हमारे सरकार ने जो महायुति ने काम किया है वो आज तक के इतिहास में इतना काम कभी नहीं हुआ है। और इसलिए लोग चाहते, जैसे महाविकास आघाड़ी ने सब काम बंद कर दिए थे, मैंने अभी कहा था कि सब कामों में स्पीड ब्रेकर ठोक दिया था। नाम बताओ क्या? मैं मेट्रो है, कारशेड है, समृद्धि है, अटल सेतु है, कोस्टल है, जलयुक्त शिवार योजना किसानों के लिए, मराठवाड़ा वाटर ग्रिड है, जहाँ पानी समुद्र में बह जाता है वो उसके प्रोजेक्ट है, सब बंद कर दिए गए, सब ठप। क्यों? युति सरकार ने किया। ऐसे जेलसी, ये ईगो, इसकी वजह से बंद। पहले हमने उसको शुरू कर दिया, काम शुरू हो गया, उद्घाटन भी हो गए। मोदी जी आए थे उद्घाटन में कई प्रोजेक्ट के, और फिर कल्याणकारी योजनाएं हम शुरू की। मुख्यमंत्री लाडली बहन योजना, बेटी मुख्यमंत्री लड़की लखपति, लड़कियों का उच्च शिक्षण, डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर, वकील बनना है फ्री में, मुफ्त में, 3 गैस सिलेंडर, किसानों को कर्ज माफ़ करना, किसानों को 7.5 HP पंप का जो किसान है 45 लाख उनको बिजली मुफ्त में देना, ये सब काम हमने कर दिया। और वयोश्री योजना सीनियर सिटीजन के लिए, घर में से हर एक किसी ना किसी को राज्य सरकार से कुछ ना कुछ राहत देने का काम हमने किया है। तो लोगों में एक फीलिंग है कि हमारी लाडली बहना तो बहुत उत्साहित है। एक तो उनको गुस्सा है सौतेले भाई पर, उन्होंने दुष्टता की है, उनके खिलाफ कोर्ट में गए, उनकी योजना बंद पाड़ने के लिए गए, उनकी योजना को बदनाम किया उन्होंने, इसलिए गुस्सा है। गुस्से में उनको वोट करना है महायुति को, और इसलिए 20 तारीख को देखो आप क्या होता है। महायुति थम्पिंग मेजोरिटी से जीतेगी।
सर, एक मुख्य तौर पर ये आरोप लग रहा है कि आप लोगों ने जो लाडली बहन योजना की, अब कांग्रेस ने अपना रेट जो है वो बढ़ा दिया। उनका कहना है कि 3000 देंगे, तो आपको लगता है कि आप लोग को काउंटर करने की कोशिश की जा रही है?
देखो, उनके पास रेट भी नहीं और डेट भी नहीं, और उनके पास कुछ भी नहीं है। अभी वो घोषणा जो है झूठी है, क्योंकि कई राज्यों में उन्होंने लोगों को फंसाया है। घोषणा करने के बाद सरकार में आने के बाद हाथ ऊपर करते, हमारे पास पैसे नहीं है, केंद्र सरकार देवे। ये ऐसा कुछ होता है क्या? उनके तो प्रमुख जो है उन्होंने तो खटाखट पैसे देंगे बोले, 1 भी रुपया नहीं गिरा, लेकिन हम पटापट दे दिए। 5 हफ्ते दे दिए हमारे लाडली बहन को नवंबर का भी आचार संहिता लगेगा, इसके लिए वो उसका भी दे दिया। इसीलिए उन्होंने बहुत विरोध किया और अभी उनको लगता है ये लाडली बहन हमारी वाट लगाएगी, हमारा सुपड़ा साफ करेगी, हमारे को घर पे बिठाएगी, इसलिए उन्होंने भी एक नई योजना कर दी। लेकिन हमने तो ऑलरेडी योजना कर दी, मेरी लाडली बहना के खातों में पैसे जा रहे हैं, तो अभी उनको बस भरोसा कौन करेगा, उनके ऊपर विश्वास कौन करेगा। उन्होंने एक बार पहले भी ऐसे ही एक बार ऐलान किया था बिजली माफ़ करना, जैसे चुनाव हो गया ख़त्म, चुन कर आ गए, बिजली का बिल वापस गया। हम लोग अभी 0 बिल दिए है। जो किसान है 7.5 HP का पंप से खेती करने वाले किसान, उनका बिल माफ कर दिया, 0 बिल जाना लगा।
Well, the battle of Bandra East has also heated up. It is a 3-horse race. Uddhav Thackeray's nephew, in fact, Varun Sardesai, is going to be contesting assembly elections from there for the first time. There are 3 key candidates, Trupti Sawant and Ajit Pawar NCP's Zishan Siddiqui, pitted against Varun Sardesai, who is a first-timer in the poll battlefield. Let's listen into what he has to say.
Today I have with me Varun Sardesai, who, if I'm not wrong, is fighting his first assembly election this time around.
Yes, contesting for the first time, though I have been involved in the political fray for a very long time. So, I mean, it's a very good experience. New experience, good experience.
You've been, the last time your name spot to, shot to limelight was because of the Senate election.
Yeah.
This is a much bigger arena.
Yeah.
Is the preparation any different?
I mean, of course, it's a lot different. This is a general election, but the constituency that I'm contesting from has traditionally been a Shiv Sena bastion, and if not Shiv Sena, the other party which is one has always been Congress. So now that Shiv Sena and Congress, both of them are together in MVA, I think people's response, they're giving me a lot of love. They are showering their blessings on me. So I don't see this as a very difficult contest.
I saw a lot of your interviews where, and even in the pamphlet that has been given to every house, your main issue seems to be on hyper-local issues.
Yeah.
Water, sanitation,
Yeah.
most importantly, housing.
Yeah.
Now, you said in one of your interviews that this region, your constituency where you'll be fighting from, is the heart of Mumbai.
Yeah.
But we've just been through some of the most congested and narrow lanes in the city. Do you think whatever promises you've made are all realistic?
I think they're very realistic because right now also where we are doing our interview, you can see a stalled SRA project. The area that we just covered right now was also another stalled SRA project. So I think just follow up with government authorities and housing ministry regarding these projects can help a lot. But sadly for the last 5 years none of this happened. That's why people are angry with the incumbent MLA and they are hoping for a change.
While hearing the dispute related to the Nationalist Congress Party, the Supreme Court has asked Ajit Pawar Group to not use the photos and videos of Sharad Pawar in their campaign materials for the Maharashtra Assembly elections. The court told NCP that they have to fight the elections based on their separate identity. The court asked Ajit Pawar to instruct the members of his party to not use the pictures and videos of Sharad Pawar.
As you can well imagine, I think the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Today, elections are fought on symbols. The clock has been given to Mr. Ajit Pawar, but there's a proviso that has to be put to say that it's still under dispute. It hasn't been decided, and that's the something that the Supreme Court had to lay down. In fact, what kind of advertisement had to be put out, this type, and the standard and how big it should be, because there is definitely a fight for the battle in terms of legitimacy of who is the real original NCP. This, of course, being decided by the Election Commission, for which you've seen, and it's become a political issue with political parties, be it Uddhav Thackeray or Sharad Pawar, attacking the Election Commission for the decision that they have taken in terms of the symbol. But nevertheless, the fact is that you can still understand with the way that, there are various other MLCs, various other people who continue to use Mr. Sharad Pawar's image, that you definitely need to piggy bank, and that is why the matter is being adjudicated in the Supreme Court at the highest level, and they're hoping for some kind of justice, even though Justice Suryakant Mishra says the people are the ultimate who will be able to decide and understand who exactly is where and what.
Moving on to a story from Chennai, a government doctor was stabbed 7 times at a Chennai hospital today by a young man who posed as an employee. The doctor, an oncologist, is also heart patient and suffered injuries to his upper chest. He's in the ICU but is in stable condition. The young man who stabbed him has been arrested. The attack took place in the OPD or the outpatient department after he suspected the doctor had prescribed incorrect medication. The Tamil Nadu Health Minister M.A. Subramanian said the attacker used a small knife but insisted that there was no security lapse. The Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has ordered an inquiry. Health Minister and Deputy Chief Minister have visited the place. There are protests happening in Chennai over the doctor's stabbing.
I've seen the admitted doctor. Is a senior oncologist, Dr. Balaji. Is admitted in the ICU. I interacted with the doctor also. It was a well-planned assault. It's a well-planned assault because the person who assaulted the senior oncologist, he was hiding the knife and he came to the room and he locked the room and he was stabbing like anything. So he had multiple injuries. We are strongly condemn the Honorable Chief Minister and Honorable Health Minister.
It appears to be the thing.
It is an accident. The patient's mother has been infected with cancer. She's a cancer patient. She has been taking treatment here for the last 6 months. After here, he has shifted his mother to a private hospital. There, the doctors have misguided him, so he has come here back. He's come back here.
Any steps to be taken to enhance security?
He's had a conversation with the Dr. Balaji for half an hour, and this incident has happened. This is definitely.
Any steps to be taken now?
The concerned person has been arrested. The legal action will be taken. We have assured the safety of all the doctors.
Is it a kind of a security lapse in any way?
No, he has been coming here for the last 6 months. Right. There is no security lapse. We cannot be frisking everybody who's coming here.
Would you be tightening security now?
We'll discuss with the CM or Honorable Minister is having a discussion with all the Doctors Association at around 3 o'clock.
What happened today? The accused is not an attender of an inpatient as we speak now. Is that a clear case of security lapse? He carried a small knife as well.
It is not a small knife. It is almost like a 20 centimeter big knife. And 100% there is a security lapse. If there is a two-tier security system, and because this is a place where the life or death is questioned here. So as a doctors, we are dealing with the life. And when something happens wrong to the patient, there's a nature for the emotional outburst. And some people become over outburst and this kind of things happens. And this is a clear-cut lapse in the security system. I can say there is no security, there is no functioning CCTV, even this hospital. All CCTVs are there, but I hope there is no functioning CCTV here.
We can see CCTVs everywhere. Are you sure they're not functioning?
Sir, please check where is the CCTV is working or not. I think as we are requesting our director several times, there should be a functioning CCTV. I don't think so. There is an answer for this question, which we raised in several weeks back.
Time now for a very quick break on the show. More on the other side. Stay tuned.
Dynastic politics, we are seeing a lot of it at play in these elections.
So there might be this kind of instances happen in other constituencies also, but here I have come specifically because of public demand.
This region of North Maharashtra is known for its grapes and now it is known for its wineries.
We are a farmer. We are thinking how we can go for the value addition of our agriculture produce. That is very vital.
We are in Ramkund, which is in the heart of Nashik.
महंगाई बहुत बढ़ रही है. किचन की जो चीजें हैं उनमें उन्होंने बहुत बढ़ोतरी कर दी है.
हमें एक स्ट्रॉन्ग लीडर चाहिए जो अपने देश को बचा सके.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
have been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
NDTV World Summit was more than just a conversation.
Welcome back. Time now for an NDTV exclusive. Fighting the spam menace has been on top of the agenda for the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. TRAI Chairman Anil Kumar Lahoti spoke exclusively to NDTV, highlighting all the steps taken by the government to curb the spam scourge and even make it safer to open links sent on text messages. Have a listen.
Now, when is this menace expected to end, and does the regulator have any kind of deadline with respect to it?
You see, the spam calls and spam messages, this is a big menace to the privacy and convenience of the telecom consumers, and TRAI has been regularly working on this particular subject. We can broadly see this in terms of two dimensions. One is through the registered telemarketers, and the other is by people who are not registered telemarketers but use telecom resources for making spam calls or spam messages. In respect of the registered telemarketers, TRAI has a elaborate regulatory framework, and TRAI carried out an exhaustive analysis on how the system of registered telemarketers was being misused by people in pushing spam calls and spam messages. So, particularly in respect of the spam messages, it was found that there were lakhs of headers and content templates which had been registered by various principal entities, but were not actually in use. And out of this audit, then we asked all such telecom service providers to remove all these unused headers and content templates, because these were being misused for pushing spam messages. This was a huge cleanup exercise which TRAI carried out. Another thing which we found in respect of the registered telemarketers was that when a sender or a principal entity is sending a message, they use the services of one telemarketer and he uses services of another. So, there is a chain of telemarketers. But when the message is delivered to the subscriber, who all were involved in delivering the message is not known and was not on record. And this vacuum was being utilized or being misused by the number of telemarketers in the chain for pushing spam messages. So, TRAI has mandated that each message should have a binding of the principal entity who is sending the message and every telemarketer who is there in the chain. And already within a period of less than 3 months, over 18 lakh numbers have been disconnected and over 800 entities or individuals have been blacklisted. And you can see there is a perceptible, visible reduction in the spam calls and spam messages. Now, every 140 call is routed through the DLT platform. What it means? It means that if any consumer has registered on the do not dial registry, he or she will not receive a call from 140 series number for a commercial purpose. Now, but there is also a related challenge that the commercial entities do have to make certain calls which are genuinely required for the transactional purposes or services, which must pass through and should not be blocked. Otherwise, there could be a service deficiency.
Sir, these whitelisted links that you talked about, is it now safe for consumers to open that messages that contain links that are forwarded to them, and or should consumers still be wary of opening links or messages which contain links?
Yeah, so very important. You see, lot of fraudsters were utilizing the facility of sending SMS to send links intended for causing fraud with the subscriber through SMS. So, we have now mandated that unless a link is whitelisted by the principal entity on the telecom service provider's portal, such a message shall not pass through the DLT platform. So, what does it mean? It means that all the principal entities have now whitelisted their genuine URLs or APK links or OTT links on the TSP platforms, and a message carrying those links will pass through the DLT platform. But if any message which carries a fraudulent link or a link which is not whitelisted on the TSP's DLT platform will not pass through the DLT platform, which makes the entire system of forwarding links through SMS very safe.
The Supreme Court on Wednesday came down heavily on the trend of bulldozer justice, saying authorities cannot demolish the house of a person simply on grounds of them being accused of a crime. The Apex Court further observed that the public officials who demolish the properties in such a manner should be held accountable. The executive cannot replace the judiciary and legal process should not prejudge the guilt of an accused, the Supreme Court said today, taking tough stand on the issue of bulldozer justice.
Supreme Court giving pan-India guidelines, really saying that bulldozer justice and instantaneous justice that has been taking place cannot and must not be, it's tantamount to lawlessness, and they have now issued guidelines of 15 days notice to be issued. Heavens will not fall, even municipal laws should be done. And just because somebody has been convicted of a crime or accused of a crime, it doesn't mean that that entire house should be demolished, because that tantamount to the other people who are living there being affected. And what about the others in the vicinity? You cannot just target somebody just because he or she has been accused of a crime or convicted of a crime. And it's in that backdrop that they have said that within 3 months you must have a national portal and making it clear to MCD officials or municipal corporations across the country that if you do demolish and if it is violative of what the Supreme Court has given in terms of guidelines, you will have to pay from your own salary. So those directions very clear and loud from the Supreme Court, a message to all officials that this instantaneous justice that you have started in various states, be it in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, in Delhi we saw, and in full media glare, that is simply not acceptable. It is lawlessness.
And here are all the political reactions to Supreme Court's landmark verdict on Bulldozer justice. Listen in.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला आया है सरकार के खिलाफ, उसका धन्यवाद देता हूं, बधाई देता हूं। कम से कम आज के बाद उनका बुलडोजर हमेशा हमेशा के लिए खड़ा हो जाएगा गैराज में, अब किसी गरीब का घर नहीं टूटेगा।
ये कटने वाले बांटने वालों को बड़ी एक चपराक है, उसके मुंह पर तमाचा है। ये जो राजनीति यूपी में शुरुआत हुई कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ये रिजल्ट जो है ये बड़ा तमाचा विशेष करके योगी को लगा है, जो बुलडोजर की बात करते हैं, बुलडोजर बाबा की बात करते हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट के निर्णय का हम स्वागत करते।
सरकार अवैध निर्माण ही तोड़ती है, बुलडोजर तो एक टूल है। सवाल है अवैध निर्माण नहीं होना चाहिए, चाहे अपराधी हो या गैर अपराधी हो। इसलिए संज्ञान लेना उनका भी अपना अधिकार अपने हिसाब से ठीक है, और सरकार जो कर रही है वो भी ठीक है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Deoghar in Jharkhand, areas that go to polls on the 20th of this month. Remember, first phase of polling in Jharkhand is happening today. PM took a jibe at JMM Congress over alliance with infiltrators. He has also slammed Congress over Sita Soren's insult. He is addressing rallies. In fact, he addressed rallies in Jharkhand earlier today. Jharkhand's first phase of polling is underway right now. PM also said that JMM Congress is letting infiltrators snatch away rights of the common people, and that BJP won't let the people of Jharkhand suffer. Let's listen into all that the Prime Minister had to say.
हमारी एक बेटी, हमारी बहन को कांग्रेस के नेता गाली देते हैं, बद्दी बद्दी गालियां देते हैं। बहन सीता सोरेन के लिए इन्होंने क्या क्या नहीं कहा। ये हिम्मत इसलिए आई क्योंकि इनको पता है कि महिलाओं को गाली देकर भी उनका कुछ नहीं होगा। सरकार उनकी रक्षा करने के लिए बैठी है। वो जानते हैं कि जेएमएम को आदिवासी बेटी के मान सम्मान की कोई चिंता नहीं है। हमने द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी को उम्मीदवार बनाया, लेकिन जेएमएम की साथी इसी कांग्रेस ने द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी को हराने के लिए पूरी शक्ति झोंक दी है। आज भी कांग्रेस के नेता कदम कदम पर आदिवासी बेटी, भारत की राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी का अपमान करते हैं, और ये देखकर भी जेएमएम के लोग चुप रहते हैं।
Now, voting for Jharkhand Assembly elections, first phase will end in the next half an hour. Polling percentage till 3 p.m. was recorded at 59.3. It's a neck-and-neck fight between the ruling JMM Congress government and the BJP. Voting was held on 43 of the state's 81 seats across 15 districts. These are mostly Naxal-affected areas. Voting took place in polling stations in Maoist-hit areas like Jambro, Rega Beda, Komai, Gilua, Sialdi and Taramba amid tight security. Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren and his wife Kalpana also cast their votes at a polling station in Ranchi for the assembly elections. Let's listen into some of the reactions that have come in from the ruling coalition.
आज हम लोगों ने अपने अपने मतदान केंद्र में जाकर के अपने मतों को प्रयोग किया और मैं राज्य के हर एक नागरिक से अपील करता हूं कि इस महापर्व को और इस लोकतंत्र के इस व्यवस्था को हम लोग और मजबूत करें।
भाजपा गठबंधन जो है ना, उसी का जीत है, विजय है, इसमें कोई किंतु परंतु नहीं है। देखिए, मुद्दा तो ही है, झारखंड क्षेत्र में सबसे अहम मुद्दा है बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठ, बेरोजगार जो बहाली नहीं हो पाया, सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा है। यहाँ इरिगेशन का काम नहीं बढ़ा पाया, बेरोजगार को रोजगार नहीं, राज्य में सिर्फ भ्रष्टाचारी, ये सब तो बड़ा मुद्दा है।
महिला सुरक्षा मेरी प्रायोरिटी रहेगी। भी लगातार काम कर रही हूँ। हर दिन महिला मुद्दों पर मैं महिलाओं को तरह तरह की परेशानियों से बचाने का काम करती हूँ। आने वाले समय में भी करूँगी और हर एक क्लास के लिए काम करूँगी। हर एक जैसे बुजुर्गों के लिए, युवाओं के लिए, युवतियों के लिए, बच्चियों के लिए, हर एक के लिए, क्योंकि मतदान निश्चित रूप से करना चाहिए क्योंकि ये बहुत ही कीमती है।
I'm joined by my colleague Prabhakar Kumar for more on the story. Prabhakar, interesting that Champai Soren, who was the Chief Minister of Jharkhand not too long ago, he's now coming up with issues like infiltration and all others. Wasn't he a part of wasn't he actively a part of all that was happening back then?
Sorry, I mean, you're not quite audible, but from what I could make out, can you come again, please?
Yes, Prabhakar, you know, it's interesting that Champai Soren is bringing up the issue of infiltration, the issue of lack of jobs, unemployment right now being a part of BJP, but wasn't this his mandate also while he was the Chief Minister of the state?
Yeah, infiltration is one issue which actually BJP had picked up, and it was kick-started by Home Minister Amit Shah, and it was echoed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well. So that was around 15-20 days back when the BJP's manifesto was being released in Ranchi, and now all the senior leaders of BJP, including Champai Soren, including Babulal Marandi and Arjun Munda, who both happens to be the former chief ministers, they have all picked this up. But remember, when they talk about the illegal immigrants, when they talk about the Bangladeshi settlement out here in Jharkhand, they are actually not talking about those immigrants. What they are targeting is the tribal vote banks, because they go on to add that because of this illegal immigrant, it's actually the resources of the tribals which are being eaten away or taken away by those illegal migrants. And that's why the tribals should be beware of the parties, especially the JMM and Congress, which is helping these infiltrators settle down in Jharkhand. That has certainly become a rallying point or a poll issue, a big poll issue as far as Jharkhand, the state assembly is concerned. And it would certainly have a fallout in this, especially in this particular first phase, which is happening today. You can see behind me the polling is still going on. We still have half an hour, almost half an hour for the polls to end. Because out of 43 constituencies which are going to poll today, majority of them are tribal dominated areas. So it is this particular phase, the first phase which is happening today, will be a make or break phase for JMM and also for the NDA. If BJP or the NDA is able to make a dent in this particular phase, then they will be somewhere near the throne at Ranchi, or if they're not able to do so, then they can actually forget this dream of getting back to power in Ranchi. So this is the phase which will actually decide which way they will go.
Thank you very much, Prabhakar, for getting us that report from Jharkhand. Of course, the first phase of elections are happening right now. The polls will be done in the next half hour or so. Now, bypolls are taking place on 31 seats across 10 states in the country. It's a direct fight between Congress and JDS in the Channapatna bypoll. Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy's son, Nikhil Kumaraswamy, is fighting against local war horse and Congress candidate C.P. Yogeshwar. While this is a battle of political survival for Kumaraswamy for Deputy Chief Minister
and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Sivakumar. This is an opportunity to settle scores after his brother lost the Bengaluru rural Lok Sabha seat, which covers Channapatna too. In every way, this is a personal battle between two strong OBC Vokaliga caste leaders.
We have with us the Congress candidate from Channapatna, Mr. C.P. Yogeshwar. Sir, not as a candidate, but as a voter today, what were the key issues that you had in mind before casting your vote?
Because in the state of Karnataka, the Congress government is ruling. So I am a ruling government candidate. So I hope I am going to win this election. Because always by-election to the favor of the acting government only. I hope this election is favored to me.
So last time, even after facing defeat, you did bring water to Channapatna. This time, what are the key issues that you have in mind to do for Channapatna?
A lot of development issues are there. Because our constituency people have a lot of hopes on H.D. Kumaraswamy, but he didn't deliver the things. So the anti-incumbency is against Kumaraswamy. So a lot of issues are there because the government is with me. The government, I am the part of the government. So I hope I will do many things to my people.
So this time, do you think that this election will be a big turnaround for all the parties concerned here?
Definitely, madam. Politically, this is a very important game. That too, what my reason. This is the test for the government performance.
Thank you so much. This is definitely going to be a litmus test as far as the parties here are concerned, and that has been a statement emphasized by the candidate here, Mr. C.P. Yogeshwar. We have with us JDS candidate from Channapatna, Mr. Nikhil Kumarasamy. Thank you so much for joining us. How nervous are you today?
In fact, after the nominations, it's been good 18 days since I've been gotten an opportunity to visit the whole of the constituency, but unfortunately I couldn't cover up the whole of the constituency today, where we are standing, this Titmarnalli and a few panchayatis. I missed out this panchayatis unfortunately, but I've been in touch with them regularly. The confidence has been boosting every single day, and that is only because of all the elders' blessing, and especially the women voters, the youth voters. They're saying, coming out and saying orally, vocally, and they're stating out that yes, this time we're going to bless you. So they have a lot of expectations on me. Hopefully I'll get through. Hopefully they'll bless me. Definitely I know my responsibilities, and I'll make sure I'll deliver my responsibilities. Yeah.
Most of them have been talking about how they want development and how they want facilities and infrastructure here. As a candidate, as well as you have been interacting with the voters, what do you plan to do?
Well, I certainly feel unemployment is something which is bothering everybody, not just the youth but even the women also. Now that my father has been blessed by the people of Karnataka, and of course he's representing Mandya, which earlier he was representing Channapatna, of course. Now he's in cabinet and he's a heavy industries and steel minister. So we have a good scope of opportunity to bring in some good manufacturing sectors like industries and factories set up here. So that we are already, Kumaraswamy is in talks with a few of the company.
Response has been tremendous. Wherever I've gone in the constituency, the love and affection what people have shown, I'll be indebted to them for my life.
Now, amid reports of 4% Muslim quota reservations in the state, Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah has dismissed claims saying Muslims in the state have made a demand as Karnataka government has provided reservations to the backward classes, SCs and STs. However, the CM asserted that no discussion has taken place on it. Listen into what the Chief Minister had to say.
ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನೋಡೋಣಪ್ಪ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿಯುತ್ತೆ ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
Pratibha, what is really the matter? Why is he bringing up the matter of Muslim quota? Has there been Has there been a talk, a discussion about it?
Well, the reservation for Muslims has been one of the talks that's being considered by the Congress government ever since they came to power. The Siddaramaiah administration examining a proposal to provide reservation for Muslims in public contracts, and this is for construction and civil works, and this would translate to up to 1 crore. And if the proposal is approved in Karnataka, we will be looking at a 47% quota in government tenders in total. Just to give you a brief perspective, the demand to add Muslims under category 2B is a reservation of up to 4%. Currently, Karnataka offers 24% for SC/STs. OBC contractors belonging to category 1 is 4% and 2A is 15%, which totals to 43%. Now, this can go up to 47% is what we are talking of with respect to the 4% reservation for Muslims. Now, this has been termed as appeasement politics, especially when there are allegations that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has been battling and confronting. You have the by-election as well. And considering all of this, the BJP has been hitting out at the Congress government here. But the Congress has now gone soft on this, is trying to play low-key, and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is trying to say that the demand for Muslim reservation is there, but there is absolutely no proposal that has come into the Chief Minister's office. But with respect to the demand, the Congress leaders have been discussing about it, but nothing has been decided. We'll have to wait to see how this will play out as far as the politics in Karnataka is concerned. But with respect to reservation, it is definitely going to be an extremely sensitive subject.
Thank you very much, Pratibha, for getting us that report. Time for a quick break on the show. More on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now, a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020. And we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का।
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की।
Corruption first on the agenda.
Welcome back. Among the 5 seats in Assam that has gone for bypolls today, all eyes are on Samaguri, which has seen pre-poll violence, and even today sporadic incidents have been happening. NDTV's Ratnadeep Chaudhary and Sanjay Chakravarti were caught in one such skirmish between the ruling BJP and opposition Congress supporters in the polling booth, in one of the polling booths in Samaguri. They have sent us this report. Take a look.
Brisk polling is taking place in Assam in the 5 constituencies which have gone today for bypolls that has been necessitated after the sitting MLAs have gone on to win Lok Sabha elections and have become member of parliament, vacating their legislative assembly seats. But all eyes have been on the Samaguri assembly constituency in Nagaon district of Assam, from where we are reporting at this moment. You can see here there's a huge queue of voters who have turned out. Usually we see that in bypolls the turnout remains a little less, but here in Samaguri there is no dearth in terms of excitement of people. Right from the morning, people have turned out in large number to cast their votes. Remember, this is a keenly contested election, although a bypoll, but it is still there are a lot of stakes involved in terms of this election in Samaguri, particularly where in the run-up to the elections there have been sporadic pre-poll violence, and even today there have been some skirmishes. In fact, there are a lot of people here who have waited for hours to come and cast their votes. आपके साथ बात करेंगे, कितने टाइम से आप वेट कर रहे हैं वोट देने के लिए?
ज़्यादा समय नहीं हुआ, लगभग 30-35 मिनट हो गए।
दोपहर का समय है, फिर भी लोग कतार में हैं, लोग एक्साइटेड हैं। यूजुअली देखा जाता है कि बाई इलेक्शन में इतना एक्साइटमेंट नहीं रहता है, मगर इस बार सामागुरी की इस लड़ाई पे लोगों का इतना एक्साइटमेंट क्यों है?
में तो वही कि लड़ाई का कोई मैंने नज़रिया नहीं है, वो शांतिपूर्ण से वोट हो रहा है। लड़ाई तो थोड़ा
जो वायलेंस हुआ है अंदर हुआ है, मगर लोग बहुत उत्साहित हैं। So there you are, people saying that in their part of the constituency there have been no, pre-poll violence, but they are ready to exercise their, democratic right. In fact, in Samaguri, you have Rakibul Hussein's son, who is Tanzil Hussain, a 26-year-old, making his political debut. Now, Rakibul Hussain, remember, is Assam's Congress's political heavyweight. He has represented this constituency since 2001 and have never lost until he decided to contest the Lok Sabha elections from Dhubri, where he won with record margin, one of the highest in the Lok Sabha elections. And in fact, Rakibul Hussein's father used to also represent this constituency. So this is the 3rd generation of the Hussains who are contesting. But this has been a Congress bastion. This time the BJP is trying to win this seat by fielding a young candidate, BJP State General Secretary Diplu Ranjan Sharma. So therefore, in Assam, although 5 seats have gone for bypoll, in the last assembly elections, out of this 5 seats, barring this seat at Samaguri, the rest of the seats had remained with BJP and its allies. So therefore, all eyes will be on this seat, the Samaguri seat. And in fact, earlier in the day, we have spoken to both the candidates, Mr. Tanzil Hussain as well as Diplu Ranjan Sharma, and this is what they had to tell NDTV. Mr. Hussain, in the run-up to the poll, there were a lot of pre-poll violence. How do you see the proceedings today? There is huge enthusiasm among people to come and cast votes.
Look, when it comes to the democracy, the people are very aware of it. They will be voting for the Congress or the party who is standing for the democracy. And I appeal to the people of Samaguri as they have shown the democracy is still alive in previous election as well, and they are showing the same enthusiasm in the present by-election as well. And I would like to request everyone to come up and vote and to participate in this the festival of democracy.
This is my democratic right. मैं हर पोलिंग सेंटर में जा सकता हूँ एज ए कैंडिडेट. यहाँ का कांग्रेस का कुछ गुंडा लोग बैठा हुआ था, वो लोग ऑब्जेक्शन किया था, उन लोगों को मालूम नहीं, तो इसलिए हमारा कार्यकर्ता लोग था, वो लोग बोला क्या एज ए कैंडिडेट हम जा सकते हैं, तंजील भी जा सकते हैं, कोई इंडिपेंडेंट कैरेक्टर. तो ये कांग्रेस का कैरेक्टर है. कांग्रेस ने कभी अगर फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन सामूहिक में हो जाएगा तो हम लोग जीतेंगे. पहले तो फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन नहीं हुआ था, पूरा रिगिंग किया था कांग्रेस और रिकबुल हुसैन. तो अभी फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन है. कांग्रेस का लोग हमको बोले कि हम नहीं जा सकते. वो लोग कौन होता है हम लोग को बोलने के लिए.
Moving on to some cricket news now. Goa pacer Arjun Tendulkar, Sachin Tendulkar's son, claimed his maiden 5-wicket haul in first-class cricket on Wednesday during a Ranji Trophy plate division match against Arunachal Pradesh at the Goa Cricket Academy. The 25-year-old left-arm seamer finished with impressive figures of 5 for 25 in 9 overs, which included 3 maidens. This achievement came in his 17th first-class match as Arjun spearheaded the collapse of Arunachal Pradesh's batting lineup. Well, that's all we could put into this bulletin. Thanks for watching.
Dynastic politics, we are seeing a lot of it at play in these elections.
So there might be this kind of instances happen in other constituencies also, but here I have come specifically because of public demand.
This region of North Maharashtra is known for its grapes, and now it is known for its wineries.
We are a farmer. We are thinking how we can go for the value addition of our agriculture produce. That is very vital.
We are in Ramkund, which is in the heart of Nashik.
महंगाई बहुत बढ़ रही है. किचन की जो चीजें हैं उनमें उन्होंने बहुत बढ़ोतरी कर दी है.
हमें एक स्ट्रॉन्ग लीडर चाहिए जो अपने देश को बचा सके.
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital, Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps.
And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
कैसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024 the India century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV summit outlined his vision for the India century, driven by aspiration.
Hi there, everybody. Good evening. You're watching NDTV 24/7. My name is Kitty Bahel, and this edition will get you all the latest news and updates from across the country in the next 1 hour. At 5:30 p.m., a very special conversation coming up on the airlines price surge. You can also call us on the numbers given below on your TV screens and share your experiences with us. Let's start with the headlines at the top. Slugfest over Maharashtra bag check. Rao, Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde speaks exclusively to NDTV, asks as to what Uddhav Thackeray has been afraid of. CM Shinde's bag was also checked by poll officials today. Prime Minister Modi campaigns in Jharkhand, reiterates infiltrator attack on JMM Congress alliance, says they are trying to snatch the rights of tribals in the state. Government doctor stabbed multiple times inside a hospital in Chennai. The cops have arrested one suspect. They say the youth was an attendant who suspected the doctor had given wrong treatment to his mother. Tamil Nadu CM orders inquiry. It's an NDTV exclusive with Telecom regulatory chairman from Do Not Dial registry to tracing commercial calls to whitelisting. Tri chief lists the exhaustive regulatory overhaul done by the government to fight this spam scourge. Delhi's dense fog cover hits flight operations. At least 10 flights diverted, multiple flights delayed as fog arrives early in the national capital. Surge in airfares leaves the flyers in the lurch. Sensex and Nifty witness a huge fall. Steepest market fall has been seen in the last 5 months. We're starting this edition with a top focus. Voting for the Jharkhand Assembly election phase 1 has ended. The polling percentage till 3 p.m. was recorded at 59.3%. Well, it's a neck-and-neck fight between the ruling JMM Congress government and the BJP. Voting was held on 43 of the state's 81 seats across 15 districts, and these are mostly Naxal-affected areas. Voting had taken place at polling stations in Maoist-hit areas including Jambru, Regabeda, Komai, Siadil and Taramba amid tight security. Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren and his wife Kalpana Soren also cast their votes at a polling station in Ranchi for the assembly polls. Chief Minister Hemant Soren today accused the BJP of maligning the state's image through shadow campaigns. Well, this allegation has been dismissed by the Saffron camp. Now, the ruling JMM has fielded 23 candidates and its allies Congress and RJD have put forward 17 and 5 candidates respectively. The opposition BJP has fielded 36 candidates while the JDU and BSP have fielded 2 and 7 candidates respectively. Now, the second phase of elections will be held on November 20th and the votes are going to be counted on November 23rd. But the first phase of polling has now ended. It's 3 minutes past 5 p.m. and we do understand huge turnout has been witnessed across the state as voters have been thronging the polling stations. Let's listen in to what Chief Minister Hemant Soren had to say after he cast his vote, as well as other reactions coming in.
आज हम लोगों ने अपने अपने मतदान केंद्र में जा करके अपने मतों को प्रयोग किया और मैं राज्य के हर एक नागरिक से अपील करता हूं कि इस महापर्व को और इस लोकतंत्र के इस व्यवस्था को हम लोग और मजबूत करें।
भाजपा गठबंधन जो है ना, जीत है, विजय है, इसमें परंतु नहीं है। देखिए, मुद्दा तो यही है, झारखंड क्षेत्र में सबसे अहम मुद्दा है बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठ, बेरोजगार जो बहाली नहीं हो पाया, सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा है। यहाँ इरिगेशन का काम नहीं बढ़ा पाया, बेरोजगार को रोजगार नहीं, और राज्य में सिर्फ भ्रष्टाचारी भ्रष्टाचारी, ये सब तो बड़ा मुद्दा है।
महिला सुरक्षा मेरी प्रायोरिटी रहेगी। भी लगातार काम कर रही हूँ। हर दिन महिला मुद्दों पर मैं महिलाओं को तरह तरह की परेशानियों से बचाने का काम करती हूँ। आने वाले समय में भी करूँगी और हर एक क्लास के लिए काम करूँगी। हर एक जैसे बुजुर्गों के लिए, युवाओं के लिए, युवतियों के लिए, बच्चियों के लिए, हर एक के लिए कि मतदान निश्चित रूप से करना चाहिए क्योंकि ये बहुत ही कीमती है।
All right, you've heard Mawa Maji there, also Champai Soren, who had switched to the BJP a while back. He is also a candidate from the BJP from Saraikela, and well, the BJP is confident that they're going to score big in this time. Right now, the elections that are being held in Jharkhand at this point in time. My colleague Prabhakar is also now joining us from Ranchi, is getting us more from the ground. Well, Prabhakar, what we've seen so far all day long, voters have come out in huge numbers. A huge voter turnout has been seen in Jharkhand despite the Naxal threat and other obstacles, of course. What does it really indicate? Are there winds of change?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very welcome thing we are seeing. We have seen an extensive campaign by the Election Commission, by the governments actually to encourage people to come out and vote in large number, and which is reflected in the numbers we are seeing today. This was the first phase of Jharkhand election, and remember, as far as what does it translate into poll prospects for both the factions, what does a huge large voter turnout actually means is something we would only speculate after the results are out. But yeah, certainly it was the first day, a very eventful day and a very important phase it was, because this was the phase which would actually decide which way the wind would blow in Jharkhand. This was a phase where the majority of the tribal seats were going to polls, and both the factions, the India bloc and as well as the NDA, they have been eyeing for tribal votes by floating various narratives on the ground, whether it was the Bangladeshi illegal immigrants, whether it was a narrative being sold to tribals that the Bangladeshi illegal immigrants are allowed to settle in Jharkhand, then they would eat into the resources, their resources. So these were the narratives. We saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi, we saw Home Minister Amit Shah talking about it, and today we will see it on ground as to whether the tribal voters bought that narrative, and if they have actually bought it, then the results would be something very different and might get actually disappointing for the JMM and Congress combined. But as of now, the India bloc seems very confident that they have the support base in the tribal region, and today was their day because this was the tribal zone which was actually going to polls. Out of 43 assembly constituencies which went to polls today, more than half of them were reserved for ST. So they were the scheduled tribe constituencies, and traditionally the JMM, which is seen as a tribal party, has been doing well over there. So it would be, we will not speculate as of now. We'll wait for 23rd to come, and then we'll see what the voters have decided for themselves.
Absolutely, you're right in saying that we do not really need to speculate here. But yes, you've been going on the ground, speaking to people. You really know about the inside story. But let's hold our horses till the results are out. Whether the issues that have been raised by the BJP, also the JMM Congress, are going to resonate with the people. Prime Minister Modi in his rallies today, also he was in Jharkhand campaigning for the second phase of polls, was talking about the protection of Roti, Mati and Beti. Whether all these issues and the infiltration issue, of course, is going to resonate with the people on the ground. Is that going to translate into votes? That, of course, remains to be seen. Thank you so much, Prabhakar, for getting us all those details there. We'll go back to Prabhakar in just a bit and try and get more on the voting percentage that comes out till 3 p.m. We do understand 59.3% voter turnout has been recorded. All right, now bypolls have also taken place on 31 seats across 10 states today. It's a direct fight between the Congress and the JDS in Karnataka's Channapatna bypoll. Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy's son, Nikhil Kumaraswamy, is fighting against Congress candidate and local war horse C.P. Yogeshwar. While this is a battle of political survival for Kumaraswamy, for Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shiv Kumar, it's an opportunity to settle scores after his brother lost the Bengaluru rural Lok Sabha seat that covers Channapatna too. In every way, it's a personal battle between two strong OBC Vokaliga caste leaders.
My colleague Pratibha joins us on the broadcast here. Pratibha, quite an interesting battle in Channapatna. What do you sense on the ground? Is the voting over in Channapatna as well?
Well, in fact, the voting should be on till around 6 p.m. But of course, what you see behind me is an empty house, though it started off on a full house note ever since 7 a.m. Even during the lunch hours, despite rain or shine, most of the people were here queuing up to longer lines outside every polling booth here. We're talking of over 2 lakh voters who would be sealing the fate of 2 main candidates here from the JDS as well as the Congress. Like you pointed out, yes, it is going to be a high-stakes battle against Nikhil Kumarasamy and CP Yogeshwar, who are locking horns here. Nikhil Kumarasamy has already faced 2 electoral defeats, and this is his 3rd attempt. And in the meantime, we have CP Yogeshwar, who's already a 5-time MLA, has lost twice to HD Kumarasamy in the recent past, and he is also trying to create a name for himself. With respect to the Congress candidates, it may be a high-stakes battle, but then it's an even higher battle with respect to their mentors, because we're talking of HD Kumarasamy, who is with Nikhil Kumarasamy of the JDS there, and we are also talking of DK Shiv Kumar on the other end, who is trying to ensure a win for the Congress, mainly because he is, like you pointed out, trying to settle scores after his brother's defeat in the Bengaluru Rural Lok Sabha seat in the recent past. Bengaluru Rural Lok Sabha seat covers Channapatna, and this is a region called the Old Mysuru region, which was initially a JDS belt, and today we are talking of only one of the assembly constituencies that belongs to JDS. Whether JDS would try to retain the pride of its party with respect to his son's victory, or whether the DK brothers will regain the lost ground with CP Yogeshwar's victory, is something that still remains to be seen.
All right. Thank you so much, Pratibha, for getting us all those details there. So, as per information coming in for Channapatna, the voting is still underway. It is supposed to get over at 6 p.m. However, the voting in Jharkhand has clearly ended. Let's also take a look at what is happening in Assam. Among the 5 seats in Assam that have gone for bypolls today, all eyes are on Samaguri, which has seen pre-poll violence, and even today sporadic incidents have taken place. My colleague Ratnadeep Chaudhary as well as Sanjay Chakraborty were caught in one such skirmish between the ruling BJP and opposition Congress supporters at a polling booth in Samaguri. We will talk about that. We also have a reaction coming in from NPP candidate of Gambhigiri, Mehtab Chandi Sangma. Listen into what he had to say.
People are also having a lot of expectations, and they want to be in the government and they want to vote for development, so the expectations are quite high. So I hope I'll be able to fulfill them. I've come across all the problems across the villages, and we can see that the essential life needs or the basic life facilities are not there, like provision of electricity, basic roads and water. So I think I'll want to take up this at a priority level. The response has been good, so let's hope that we'll make it, and I'm sure people will give me a chance to serve them.
All right, that was wife of Chief Minister Conrad Sangma and NPP candidate Mehtab Chandi Sangma speaking on the polls that are happening at this point in time. Well, we do understand the voting is still underway. My colleague Ratnadeep also now joins us on the broadcast. He is getting us more from the ground. Ratnadeep, what's the sense that you get from the ground? We do understand you were also caught in one of the skirmishes that was happening at a polling booth. At one such skirmish that happened between the BJP and Congress supporters. What really happened there?
That's right. In fact, in the run-up to the polls, there have been sporadic pre-poll violence in this constituency, Samaguri. Behind me, you can see the last of the voters are casting their votes. So it will be a wrap of the polling here in Samaguri. Very keenly contested bypoll between the ruling BJP and its allies and the main opposition Congress. Remember, Samaguri is seen as a Congress bastion since 2001, Congress heavyweight Rakibul Hussain has been winning from this constituency until in the last Lok Sabha election he decided to contest from the Dhubri Lok Sabha seat and won with one of the highest margins in the country to represent Congress, represent Assam in Lok Sabha, vacating this seat where his son, 26-year-old Tanzil Hussain, is making his electoral debut. His fate is sealed in the EVMs, but the BJP had also done a very high octane campaign here. Remember, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma had been very busy with the campaign and election management in Jharkhand. However, he took out time to campaign here in Samaguri for party candidate Diplu Ranjan Sharma, a young leader who is also the General Secretary of the Assam unit of the party. So, therefore, BJP is trying hard for Samaguri. Apart from Samaguri, there are 4 other seats where polling did take place in Assam till 3 p.m. in Assam. About 65% polling was registered. With sporadic incidents being reported, particularly out of Samaguri, particularly in one location in Samaguri in the afternoon when we were there, we did see a skirmish between supporters of the BJP and the Congress where the police had to intervene. They had to also detain some of the people. There were blockades. So this kind of incident got reported from other parts in the interior areas of the constituencies. It just goes to show the kind of intense poll battle in the bypoll that Samaguri has witnessed this time. And even now you can see right from the beginning there were massive turnout, and even now the last voters are turning up, and they had turned up at around 4 p.m. which is the closing time. So they were given tickets, and now they're one by one casting their votes, and soon polling would wrap up here as well.
Okay, thank you so much Ratnadi for getting us all those details there. Well, in Meghalaya also, as the voting for bypolls takes place, we've seen how ruling NPP President and Chief Minister Conrad Sangma has been campaigning actively and extensively for his wife, and whether that's going to really translate into votes, or whether his wife does get the desired or the necessary votes that are expected, that are required for her victory, that of course remains to be seen. We'll keep an eye on the developments coming in. Meanwhile, we have some more news that we're tracking at this point in time. This is coming in from Maharashtra. Well, elections in Maharashtra are going to take place on November 20th. And before that, there is a slugfest going on between the BJP on one side and the MVA on the other hand over the bag checking controversy. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has spoken exclusively to NDTV, and in this interview, he said that the bags of Nitin Gadkari, Devendra Fadnavis were also checked. And what is Uddhav Thackeray really scared of? Well, Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's bag was also checked. That's the video on your TV screens that came just a while back, where Eknath Shinde's bag was also checked by the EC officials here, and he was all smiling while his bags were being checked. My colleague Rona Kukre has spoken to Eknath Shinde in this exclusive conversation. Listen in.
हमारे साथ मौजूद है महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ शिंदे। ये बेहद खास मुलाकात है। चुनाव के वक्त सीएम साहब आपने समय निकाला, धन्यवाद। किस तरह का माहौल दिख रहा है? आप जगह जगह घूम रहे हैं और कल तो आपने लगातार 7 रैलियां कर डाली।
पूरा माहौल महायुति का है। सब लोग इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं कब चुनाव है, कब वोटिंग है, कब मतदान है, कब महायुति को वोट करते हैं। ऐसा सब लोग में वो जोश है, उत्साह है। सभी लोगों में एक इस बार के चुनाव में अलग भावना है, क्योंकि ये सरकार फिर से जनता चाहती है, क्योंकि 2-2.5 साल में हमारे सरकार ने जो महायुति ने काम किया है वो आज तक के इतिहास में इतना काम कभी नहीं हुआ है। और इसलिए लोग चाहते, जैसे महाविकास आघाड़ी ने सब काम बंद कर दिए थे, मैंने अभी कहा था कि सब कामों में स्पीड ब्रेकर ठोक दिया था। नाम बताओ क्या? मैं मेट्रो है, कारशेड है, समृद्धि है, अटल सेतु है, कोस्टल है, जलयुक्त शिवार योजना किसानों के लिए, मराठवाड़ा वाटर ग्रिड है, जहाँ पानी समुद्र में बह जाता है वो उसके प्रोजेक्ट है, सब बंद कर दिए थे, सब ठप। क्यों? युति सरकार ने किया। ऐसे जेलसी, ये ईगो, इसकी वजह से बंद। पहले हमने उसको शुरू कर दिया, काम शुरू हो गया, उद्घाटन भी हो गए। मोदी जी आए थे उद्घाटन में कई प्रोजेक्ट के, और फिर कल्याणकारी योजनाएं हम शुरू की। मुख्यमंत्री लाडली बहन योजना, बेटी मुख्यमंत्री लड़की लखपति, लड़कियों का उच्च शिक्षण, डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर, वकील बनना है फ्री में, मुफ्त में, 3 गैस सिलेंडर, किसानों को कर्ज माफ़ करना, किसानों को 7.5 HP पंप का जो किसान है 45 लाख उनको बिजली मुफ्त में देना, ये सब काम हमने कर दिया। और वयोश्री योजना सीनियर सिटीजन के लिए घर में से हर एक किसी ना किसी को राज्य सरकार से कुछ ना कुछ राहत देने का काम हमने किया है। तो लोगों में एक फीलिंग है कि हमारी लाडली बहना तो बहुत उत्साहित है। एक तो उनको गुस्सा है सौतेले भाई पर, उन्होंने दुष्टता की है, उनके खिलाफ कोर्ट में गए, उनकी योजना बंद पाड़ने के लिए गए, उनकी योजना को बदनाम किया उन्होंने, इसलिए गुस्सा है। गुस्से में उनको वोट करना है महायुति को, और इसलिए 20 तारीख को देखो आप क्या होता है। लेकिन महायुति थम्पिंग मेजोरिटी से जीतेगी।
सर, एक मुख्य तौर पर ये आरोप लग रहा है कि आप लोगों ने जो लाडली बहन योजना की, अब कांग्रेस ने अपना रेट जो है वो बढ़ा दिया। उनका कहना है कि 3000 देंगे, तो आपको लगता है कि आप लोग को काउंटर करने की कोशिश की जा रही है?
देखो, उनके पास रेट भी नहीं और डेट भी नहीं, और उनके पास कुछ भी नहीं है। अभी वो घोषणा जो है झूठी है, क्योंकि कई राज्यों में उन्होंने लोगों को फंसाया है। घोषणा करने के बाद सरकार में आने के बाद हाथ ऊपर करते, हमारे पास पैसे नहीं है, केंद्र सरकार देवे। ये ऐसा कुछ होता है क्या? उनके तो प्रमुख जो है उन्होंने तो खटाखट पैसे देंगे बोले, 1 भी रुपया नहीं गिरा, लेकिन हम पटापट दे दिए। 5 हफ्ते दे दिए हमारे लाडली बहन को। नवंबर का भी आचार संहिता लगेगा, इसके लिए वो उसका भी दे दिया। इसीलिए उन्होंने बहुत विरोध किया, और अभी उनको लगता है ये लाडली बहन हमारी वाट लगाएगी, हमारा सुपड़ा साफ करेगी, हमारे को घर पे बिठाएगी। इसलिए उन्होंने भी एक नई योजना कर दी। लेकिन हमने तो ऑलरेडी योजना कर दी, मेरी लाडली बहना के खातों में पैसे जा रहे हैं, तो अभी उनको बस भरोसा कौन करेगा, उनके ऊपर विश्वास कौन करेगा? उन्होंने एक बार पहले भी ऐसे ही एक बार ऐलान किया था बिजली माफ़ करना, जैसे चुनाव हो गया ख़त्म, चुन कर आ गए, बिजली का बिल वापस गया। हम लोग अभी 0 बिल दिए है। जो किसान है 7.5 HP का पंप से खेती करने वाले किसान, उनका बिल माफ़ कर दिया, 0 बिल जाना लगा।
Breaking news now coming in. A Tamil Nadu government doctor was stabbed 7 times at a Chennai hospital today morning by a young man whose mother was being treated for cancer by the same doctor. Now, the IMA has condemned this stabbing incident of this on-duty government doctor in Chennai. In its statement, the IMA has said no amount of superficial damage control exercises by the governments is going to make doctors work without fear in this country. My colleague Tanushka joining us on the broadcast here. Tanushka, quite strong words that have been used by the IMA.
Precisely, the Indian Medical Association condemns the stabbing of this on-duty government doctor in Chennai who was working as an oncologist surgeon and was stabbed 7 times, were the son of a patient who died after stage 4 cancer of the ovaries. What the IMA has said in its statement is very strong, of course, in looking with the backdrop of the atrocities that has happened against doctors in the country. The IMA has said that strong deterrent legislation, exemplary punishments and proactive safety measures are all that are required at this point. All governments have been put on notice with this heinous crime, and the medical profession of the country is deeply disturbed by the skeptical nature of remedial measures on this ever-recurring violence. What the IMA therefore establishes is that this is just going on and on with the doctors, and no solid legislation, law or action is being taken to ensure their safety. So at this point, they're urging for action to be taken for the doctors, and what the IMA ends with saying is that the nation owes this to the doctors.
Tanushka, for getting us all those details there. That's a strongly worded statement coming in from the IMA condemning the stabbing of the doctor who was on duty at this hospital in Chennai. Well, IMA has said that the nation owes it to the doctors, and our pleas, our cries have fallen on deaf ears. Essentially, that is what this statement says. Shifting our focus now, stock markets ended sharply lower today, marking the 5th straight session of declines as concerns around rising inflation and a broad sell-off in metal stocks dragged sentiment. Both Nifty and Sensex recording their steepest fall in 5 months, with the Nifty closing down 1.3% or 312 points at 23,571. The Sensex tumbled 1,125 points or 1.4% to settle at 77,550. Global funds have sold stocks worth over 1.50 lakh crores since September 27, according to provisional data from the National Stock Exchange. Now, domestic institutions have been net buyers of shares worth rupees 1.38 lakh crore during the same period. Well, NDTV Profit Deputy News Editor Hiral Dadia gets us more.
Overall, a dismal day is what we've seen in terms of the markets. They continued the fall clearly, though some bit of a positivity that did come in marginally, but there you go. Below the 23,600 mark is what we've seen in terms of Nifty 50 as well. Over 1,050 points is the kind of cuts we've seen in Bank Nifty, and you had the Sensex as well, almost 1,000 points coming in there. If you pull up Nifty IT, that was also one of the biggest contributors to the fall today. There you go, 0.6%. But in terms of point contribution, it was from here. If you see the heat map in terms of other sectors, all sectors in the red, but you had real estate, the PSU bank index and the metal index. These were the top three losing sectors. In terms of broader markets, the fall was higher. So if you see in terms of the small cap 250, down little over 3% is what we saw. And if you see in terms of mid cap 150, there you go, 2.7% was the kind of cuts that we were seeing in today's day of trade. Let's quickly look at all the stats as well. The advance decline ratio absolutely in favor of the declines. Nearly 1,900 stocks that were declining versus the 240 advances that we saw in today's session. Again, the advances were more from the broader markets, stocks that were reacting to numbers. Only 4 stocks out of Nifty 50 that ended in the positive. Britannia, HUL again with regards to where the FMCG pack go, but you have a Hero Moto ahead of numbers tomorrow. The stock was down 4%.